Hi, I'm Matt Mahler with MovieWeb. It's a pleasure to speak with both of you today. Thank you.
Hey
Thank
man.
you.
This is such a well-structured show. It doesn't let its high concept get in the way of the characters and their emotional reality. Um, and I really love the themes of regret and FOMO and identity. So congrats on this.
Thank you.
Um, I'll start with Joel. Had you read any of Blake's work or seen Wayward Pines or anything like that? Or was it just the substance of the character of Jason and the script that got you involved
I
as a story and producer?
I first got switched on to it by hearing about the, the book and their intention to potentially make a series out of it. And I read the book, just sort of like could do. I don't really get to read for pleasure much. I'm always like, I'm a slow reader and I'm always trying to catch up on reading for work. But it became this sort of work, concept of reading for the sake of like exploring this idea of working on this thing, but it became very pleasurable to read it because I read it very quickly. And then I just thought, as you just said, is this show that doesn't let its concept or its conceit get in the way of, this sort of rich exploration of human theme. And I was really taken with the book and the possibilities of exploring things that were really sort of occurring to me more and more as I got older, as this question of where I'm at in life, what's my degree of comfort and contentment and happiness versus what I expected of myself, and how the choices that I made in the past led me to where I am now, good or bad, and what I think about those things. And I know that these are things that a lot of people talk about, the what ifs and what if I'd have done this, and avoiding certain fate or leading us into situations we thought were not good in our life, and it really, really struck me as a sort of rich thing to be involved in, and so I was really proactive about getting involved.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. And Alicia, Amanda is kind of this initially mysterious but very emotionally complicated character, and kind of tragic in different ways. I almost want to see a version of the show through her perspective. I think that would be like a fascinating B-sides. What did you like about her and her position in this story?
It's interesting because it's a little bit different from what Blake created in the book, because the moment that he had to bring her story to life, he created a background story for her that we don't actually see in the book, and that changed a little bit of her journey throughout the show and throughout the experience with this Jason one version that shows up in her life, that she realizes is not her Jason, but she has empathy and desire to save him and to protect him because he knows it's unfair what's happening. And therefore she jumps into something that makes her confront all her fears and also emotions that maybe because of her life journey with Story family or with this boyfriend that in a way left her, and insecurities and all that she doesn't face. So it's a beautiful journey to go from where she starts to where she ends up, into following her dream and following what she wants for herself, and really focusing on that. And also having the empathy to look at someone she's obviously in love and desiring so much the best, that even though if that hurts her the most, a little bit, giving spoilers, but I think it's an interesting journey from point A to point B on how much she grows into this arc.
Yeah, very much so. Kind of an odd question, but with the themes of the show, is there one big decision you've made in your life that could have created a parallel version of yourself that you'd be interested in learning about? Joel?
Yeah, but I will say that given that these big pivotal moments in our life of regret or decision making that we know would have split us into it or put us on a different path, they're quite often big and traumatic and complicated decisions. And the two that I know of are too personal to share with anyone that I don't know very well. So I will say yes, and with all respect, like knowing that I could just open up a can of press worms here by talking about things that have happened in my past.
Going to the psychiatrist.
But yeah, but big things, and I feel your question though, and I really love it because there's definitely, you know, two key moments in my life that if I'd have made one decision instead of the one I made, I may not even be sitting here.
That's so true.
Most likely I wouldn't be sitting here.
It's hard,
Yeah,
but it's true.
and the show sort of prompts those yearning questions for viewers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And before I run out of time, I'd be remiss not to ask, Alice, have you been sort of in conversation about the I Am Legend sequel? Do you have any thoughts on it at all?
Dun, dun. No, I haven't been in conversations. I don't know where they are at with. I would love to see it. I think it's a world that I enjoyed a lot participating. I think it's an interesting, very much like this world. It talks a lot about humanity, and it talks a lot about the world and nowadays the world and how we cope in the apocalypse. So I think it would be fun to see it, but no, I haven't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say there has been one moment in my life not so long ago where someone was like, you know that film I Am Legend where it's just Will Smith, he's alone in the world, and I'm like
Well, thank you, you're a good friend.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, the dog.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the Alsatian. No. Yeah, people were just starting to get a bit over him on his own, and finally,
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can see you and the dog in some sort of spin-off. Thank you both for discussing this. It's a great, really thoughtful show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take
Have a
care.
great
Thanks, man.